if life is a long journey of self-acceptance, I think the earlier you can accept your own peculiarities as just part of you, rather than trying to justify them or mold to the archetype that you think is acceptable within your social circle. At least for me, like there's this period of discomfort when you change anything because everyone around you wants you to fit within the label that they are comfortable with.
But they also have the anchor of what you were before.
Yeah, exactly. And so they try and like, people don't like that. And so they're like, no, I like you in this box. So just say, I know you're having a little thing right now. Don't worry, and they just want to shove you back into it. And there's a lot of uncomfortable conversations that you have to have where it becomes really socially awkward. And so like I said one the other day about like going home for the holidays, and the reason I don't like doing it is because often I have to confront a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time, and they'll speak to me in a way that I don't like. And before that, I would roll it off like whatever, no big deal. But I don't accept that. When you're growing in a business, it's very painful. When you're stagnating in a business and you're plateaued and you don't know what to do, it's very painful. When you're declining and you also don't know what to do, it's very painful. And so that means that all conditions of reality are painful. And so if pain is a prerequisite for reality, then it means it's just a signal that we are alive. And so in thinking about that, rather than pain as a problem, it is a signal that I'm breathing, and then becomes irrelevant. There was a guy, friend of a friend, successful entrepreneur, and he got really bad cancer, like super bad, really, really fast, right? And I think he lost his like trachea and some other stuff, and like they thought he was going to die. He ended up making it. And he was telling my friend, he was like, man, so grateful. And it was like, you'd think it was like the whole I see life a different way now. It wasn't that. It was while he was going through it. And his reasoning was, how cool is it that I get to live this part of the human experience? He's like, so many people don't get to live this. Like, I get to know what it's like to have cancer. Like, so many people live their whole lives and then die not knowing what cancer was like. I get to know that. And I just thought about that as like a very interesting frame. It's like, whether it's bankruptcy, going to jail, like even the depths of human suffering, and some people who are still going through that trauma, I'm not saying that, like, I'm not justifying it. It's just a frame on like, being human is the rainy and the sunny days. Like, you can't skip weather. And so I think like embracing the totality of the experience can give you gratitude for what feels locally like a low point. But most of the defining moments in our life, broken leg, then he doesn't have to go to war. Right? When you expand the time horizon, those are the things that create us. If you want patience, then you're not going to get things quickly. If you want to have endurance, it's like you have to be able to tolerate suffering, right? If you want to be wise, it's like you're going to have to get burned, and you're going to have to learn the value of judgment. And sometimes that means you're going to get betrayed in order to learn that pattern. And so it's like we lament the price tag for the things that we want. And I think that, at least for me, my ultimate, long-term goal is just to become the person that the best version of me, right? And I think that in order for that to happen, I will have to go through pain. This is all to say that no matter where you're at in your journey, you've just got to believe with all your fucking heart that you're going to make it, because no one else is going to believe for you. Because you can never expect someone to invest in you more than you invest in yourself. And the crazy thing is, some people say they'd kill for a shot or they'd die for a chance, when in reality, they won't even wake up 60 minutes earlier for it.
We live inside of prisons of our own making based on our belief system. And so if you want to change your life, you have to change your belief system. Belief system is just a different way of saying things that you know or believe to be true. These are just the facts that you live on. Now, the thing is we can't double check every single thing that we believe, because we can't. It would take too long, right? As a human being, every single thing you had to fact check. So the vast majority of the things that we believe and take as true were just given to us by other people. It's what I find very interesting about this is that we are so hesitant to question our beliefs, when in reality, almost none of our beliefs are our own. They're not yours, they're someone else's.
Consistency is the rarest of traits. And I think the reason it is so rare is because you cannot observe it without at least having some level of consistency. Think about that for a second. How can you observe consistency? It's very hard to do, right? You can't see somebody coming, like you have to be at the gym every day to see someone at the gym every day. Which is why, like, when people come to acquisition.com, all of a sudden they get this gigantic boost in their skill set, their productivity, their output, because they're around everyone.
Like when you show up at acquisition.com at 5:30 in the morning, the parking lot's full. Like we're here to win, not play. We want to win. And so I think I would ask yourself the question, if I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that if I could do 100 times more than I'm currently doing, I would hit the goals that I have. Then I would then ask the question, great, what resources are required? And then following up to that, is it worth it? And if the answer is yes, what's stopping you? One of the easiest ways to have more money is to work more hours. And you're like, how is that possible? Well, when you work more hours, it actually kills two birds. One is that you actually make more money when you work more hours. But on top of that, you don't spend money because you have less time to spend it. And so every hour of work is a net positive in two directions. So it saves you money you're not spending and makes you money. And so you want to find those little twists that you can make in your investments of time and money that are outsized. It's not just that you gain, you also stop the loss. I've always been willing to bet big on me. And so a lot of you guys are trying to like bet big on Dogecoin or some meme thing or like some get rich quick. And I promise you, the guys who have all the money know how to do it better than you. And if you have your last $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 that you're like, what do I do with it? Bet on you. Because you'll never sell you. You're a long-term hold, right? And so if you get better, you guarantee the win. And every investment you make compounds. You guarantee compounding because every skill stacks on top of other skills.
There's this line that I heard David Goggins say, I'm David Goggins, bit. I remember him saying it, and I thought to myself, like, you want to be able to say that in the mirror to yourself and not laugh at yourself. Mm-hmm. And the only way that I can do that is know that when no one's watching, I work harder than when they're watching. And thinking about it like that has given me this persistent and ever-present scorecard or third party that's like, no one's watching, which means now you have to work because otherwise you're full of shit.
You have to learn the skills to become successful. And oftentimes learning those skills is painful because you don't know the skills when you're trying to learn them, and mistakes hurt. And so I think there's just a huge amount of skills that you have to learn in order to be successful. And if we define success as material success for business, at least, then it's just, there's so many things you have to learn. It's very hard to learn them scar-free.
Nothing great was ever achieved by people who tried to be great at all things. And so I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna, I might not have a great relationship for a long period of time. I mean, there was like, a lot of people don't know this, but in the early days of our relationship, even when we were married, I told Leia, so the first 3 years, I said the business comes before our marriage. So a lot of people don't know that. And I was like, well, to me, it made sense. It was like, most people break up over money. The business makes money, so the business feeds us, and then we will be okay. That was kind of my thinking around it. And we eventually flipped that and said, like, if we're good, the business will be fine. But it took 3 years to get there. But all that to say, like, I think having periods of imbalance, and maybe, to be fair, if I hadn't had that priority at that time, maybe Gym Launch wouldn't have been what it became. And so I can't look back and say, like, I should have done it different, because it's really easy to say that now. But like, I might not be here to say that if I had been that way. So I spent 5 years building a chain of gyms. So I had 6 locations. And after that, I sold 5 of them. I shut one down. And then I transitioned to doing turnarounds. In the transition between shutting my gyms down, I got a big payday because I sold my 5 gyms. Big for me, relative. I took all that money and I put it into the next thing. The partner that I had in that next thing ended up taking the money and disappearing, filing bankruptcy, and sending it to his girlfriend in Sweden. I couldn't make this up. So there was no way I could get the money back, and he had filed bankruptcy. So there's no course of action for a lawsuit. And so a lot of people would probably go through that mental situation and think, and I went through this, was thinking, I just wasted the last 5 years. Like, I literally started a chain, put everything into the second location, put everything in the third location, the fourth location, kept going, right? I kept doubling down, and then I get my big payday, and I put it all on black, and then it disappears with one spin of the roulette. And so here I am, and I'm like, I have nothing to show for the last 5 years of work. But then in the next 12 months, I made more money than I'd ever made in my entire life up to that point. The 5 years, I made more profit the next 12 months than I made in the last 5 years times like 5.
And it was because, and this is only, I was only able to realize this in retrospect, which is why I'm sharing it, which is that the thing that was the outcome of those 5 years was me and the skills and the experiences that I possessed through going through it. And so whatever the next mountain that you're trying to climb is, of course it's going to be higher, but it's going to require you to go through the smaller mountains to get to that point. So, because the more able you are, the more able you realize you can become. And you will get way bigger outcomes from the things that you had, like the path that led you here, than you think you can. That's why since that moment where I lost everything, and then I was able to make more in the next 12 months, I realized that no work is wasted because I am the output of the work, not the outcome. And that was one of the biggest frame shifts for me in never thinking that work is wasted, because the more I work, the bigger my work ethic, the more my work capacity increases.
Admit it, you aren't like them. You're not even close. You may occasionally dress yourself up as one of them, watch the same mindless television shows as they do, maybe even eat the same fast food sometimes. But it seems that the more you try to fit in, the more you feel like an outsider. Watching normal people as they go about their automatic existences. For every time you say club passwords like "have a nice day" and "weather's awful today, eh?" you yearn inside to say forbidden things like "tell me something that makes you cry," or "what do you think deja vu is for?" Face it, you even want to talk to that girl in the elevator. But what if that girl in the elevator and the balding man who walks past your cubicle at work are thinking the same thing? Who knows what you might learn from taking a chance on a conversation with a stranger? Everybody carries a piece of the puzzle. Nobody comes into your life by mere coincidence. Trust your instincts, do the unexpected, find the others. A lot of self-work can be summarized into thoughts aren't true, feelings don't require actions, things aren't good or bad, they just are, our greatest enemy is ignorance. To change your life, change your surroundings. Our actions, not our pasts, define who we are. Do you think that the most successful people in the world became successful and then got disciplined? Or do you think that they became disciplined and then got successful?
Yeah, obviously the latter, yeah.
Correct. A better definition of self-love would be holding yourself to a higher standard than anybody else does.
Yeah.
Like, what if you are your own biggest champion?
Yes.
And then what if having friends, good friends that care about you, are people who believe in you more than they pity you? Discipline eats motivation for breakfast. You don't need motivation. It's great if it arrives. It's some extra fuel on the fire. But discipline is the thing that you need. What would you tomorrow want you today to do? You tomorrow would want you to keep that promise to yourself. And it's why discipline is so much more valuable. I remember this conversation between Jocko Willink and Sam Harris 6 years ago. And they're talking about how you can't fake bravery. Because if you do a thing in spite of being scared of doing the thing, that is bravery. Right? There's no such thing as fake bravery. Like, if you do the thing and you're scared, that's bravery. If you don't do the thing and you weren't scared, that's not bravery, right? The same thing goes for discipline. Doing the thing in spite of not wanting to do the thing is discipline, right? You don't need motivation to get yourself up to go and do a thing. Make the promise small, build it up step by step. Know that you are going to have setbacks, and this is my favorite rule from James Clear, which is a habit missed once is a mistake. A habit missed twice is the start of a new habit. Never miss 2 days in a row. So ideally, go for a month, build it up. But after that, if you ever miss one day, go, okay, mistakes are going to happen. Tomorrow I double down. Tomorrow I go on time, absolutely perfect. I'm straight up out of bed, or I go to the gym, or I walk the dog, or I do my meditation or whatever. And that's a good heuristic. Stops errors snowballing into new habits.
The doing hard things thing pushes you into a place that the world can't. You know, when you are the guy that runs the company, or that has done the self-work, that has found the wife, that has done the whatever. And this is one of the reasons why I think that, you know, you look at older dudes that are getting, Jocko's a good example. I think he's in his 50s, and he, 4:30 or 4:20, 2 a.m. or whenever that watch photo goes up every single day, he's up, he's working out, he's doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he's trying to build a company. All of the products in the company that he's trying to build are responsibly sourced, or like, you know, no preservatives and all this stuff. So he's like trying to be ethical as possible, building boots made in Idaho or wherever it is, American sourced, American made, all of these things, like really trying to live the ethos of being aligned. He's sold millions of copies of his book. He didn't need to do this. But if he didn't go out of his way to find things that were difficult for him, there would be no difficulty left in his life. His success has snowplowed so much stuff out of the way. And this is why, as guys age, I think it's even more important, because your success is going to make life even more comfortable for you as you grow up. So you need to continue to find things. Okay, where can I be humbled? I'm going to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with someone who's got twice the skill set that I do.
Use absence to increase respect. The more you are seen and heard from, the more common you appear. If you're already established in a group, temporary withdrawal from it will make you more talked about, even more admired. You must learn when to leave. Cultivate value through scarcity. A lot of the things that people want to get easily are only valuable because they're not attainable with ease, right? So if you end up trying to do this, if you did dial down the difficulty of achieving the thing that you say you want to achieve, you would no longer want it. Right? Baked into the difficulty is the value of the thing. Personal observation. You get absolutely better returns at the top ends of achievement because oftentimes assets pool to the winners. The problem is, to achieve the highest levels, you have to give up proportional amounts of the things you hoped the achievements would get you. There comes a time when the hard work you have to do is learning that you can't work any harder any longer, and that you have to change what got you here to what will get you to where you want to go. You can work to get anything you want, but you have to sacrifice the other things you want to keep it, and that's sometimes harder than the work. You want to do this because you think that it's good for you, because you believe that it's good for you, because you care about yourself. They want to have good outcomes from the things that they do in life. You don't need to lambast yourself because you don't do a thing that is perfectly designed to make you feel good. Okay, like you missed 3 days in a row. We get back on the horse, we go again. Discipline. You once wanted the life you have. And if you don't like the life you have, you probably won't like the one you want, but don't have either. The Lonely chapter describes a time in which you're growing, you're changing as a person, and you're now so different that you can no longer resonate with your old set of friends, but you're not sufficiently developed that you've got the new set of friends that you're going to grow into. And this is the Lonely chapter. And the problem with it is that you're always, the desire to sort of regress back to where you were is always going to be there. And you're going to have uncertainty. There's not even the promise of glory or success or triumph when you get through the other side. What am I pushing toward? You know, you're telling me that I'm not going to go out on this night out with my friends, which I've done for the last 5 years or 10 years in the town that I grew up in or went to university in or whatever. You're telling me that I'm not going to do that because I'm going to get up and I'm going to meditate or read. Who even knows if meditation works, right? Like, or you've got all of these questions in your mind, and all of your friends and all of the dynamics and the temptations pull you back toward that. It pulls you back toward the old version of life. So this Lonely chapter is a period through which I think everybody needs to squeeze. Anybody that decides to go from a place they are to a place that they want to be is going to have to let go of people who can't go there with them. And this isn't a value judgment about the people that are doing the personal growth thing are better than the people that are already fine as they are and are happy leading a different sort of life. It's that if you know that there is something that you're meant to do, if you know that there's something that you're meant to change, you will have to let certain groups, friends, routines, places, activities, recreations that you do, you're going to have to let those go. And there is this, you know, the Rocky cutscene lasts for 90 seconds in the movie, but it can last for 5 years in your life. And you have no idea whether or not it's even going to work. And that's the bit that always got to me. The bit that always got to me was I didn't even know if there was going to be any glory on the other side. It's like ordering an Uber and never knowing if it's going to arrive or not. And you think, well, I'm just stood here doing the thing, but I don't know if it's going to come out on the other side. And I can promise you, anybody that has done anything, moved from any place they were to any place that they want to be, has gone through this Lonely chapter. And I think about personal growth like the velocity of a rocket that's taking off. So you've got people moving, and as you start to take off, you can begin to move a little bit more quickly. And as you start to pull away from people, there's a tension between the two of you, because sometimes your behavior, especially if it's positive and you're moving yourself in a more developed direction, can throw into harsh contrast the behavior of the people who maybe aren't doing that. And then you start to sort of become friends with someone that's above you. And then the worst, or one of the really difficult sensations, is if you then do that
and you go past somebody who previously you were with, and there's this sort of sense, well, I'm on the journey too, but maybe I'm not moving in the same kind of way that you are. And I came up with this idea of personal growth guilt, like survivor guilt. Somebody comes back from war and they were sat in the back of the Humvee, and the piece of shrapnel that was supposed to kill them and killed all of their buddies hit the engine block, and they come back and they feel like they should still be back there, but they're not. And it's almost the same with the personal growth stuff, that I feel like I'm almost sort of betraying this older version of me, this past version of my life, that I should be there. And there's this scene in The Matrix that Alex talks about where Neo doesn't know if he wants to move forward. He doesn't know if he wants to take the journey that he's called to. And he opens the door and Trinity says, "You've already been down that road, Neo. You know where it takes you, and you know that's not where you want to go back to." And I think about that. I think about that a lot, that lonely chapter.
What do I think is productive that isn't? Calls, Slack and WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Staying in on weekends. Sitting at my desk when I'm not working. What is productive that I don't realize? Dinners with new people, attending events, travel, reading.
These kids are so dope and they don't realize how dope they are. They did something with video games that we never did. They turned it into a career. You can make money. When I was playing video games, I would hate to date myself, but joysticks, I know it's but when it was joysticks, you couldn't make millions doing it. Now, because of these kids, and they're taking this thing and giving it a life that it never had before, anything you touch, when you know who you are, believe who you are, I got a PhD. I don't say that like on the bragging. I say that because if I got a PhD, that means I could have finished high school. It was the day coach said to me, "This is why I've been trying to train you, because I wanted you to be the best father you could be." Yeah. And so you miss some classes, you miss some lessons. Your son is here now. He needs the best version of you. Wow. We can't repeat the mistakes of the past. And so I need you to hurry up. And so when Jalen was born, from that day forward, I remember when he was born, I held him. And it was kind of like he looked at me like, "You're the person that's gonna take care of me." Wow. And that was the day. And this is what a lot of you are running from. It's the R word. And I get it because it's tough. Responsibility. Ooh. That was the day where it's like, you gotta be responsible for somebody else. Yeah. You cannot. I get coached, right? Yeah. And so it's this idea of yesterday's greatness can't be enough because I'm alive today. So if I'm alive today, it must be some more greatness in me. And it's my job, like the toothpaste, it's my job not to just look, I don't know about you, but I would just use a little bit of it and get another one. You get the last drop. I'm squeezing, and I got money. I'm squeezing that toothpaste. Why? Because I'm trying to get everything out the tube before I go to another one. And with my life, before I get out of here, which is why I could murder myself, that I didn't realize at 12 that I was great. And that's why I say you got to check in 2025, 2025, right? Because I didn't know I was great. And once I checked it and realized how great I was like, bruh, we gonna keep doing this until the day we die. And so I would just say to you, this is about a friendship that I'm tapping into and saying, man, it's good to see you alive. It's good to see that we made it. It is good. I still remember the red shoes with the red shorts, with the hat, the red, and we're in there just kicking it. And now I'm like, yo, this is an enterprise now. This is on a whole nother level. Not saying what you did 10 years ago with me was nothing. Sure. I'm saying this, and to still be alive and to still be welcome. Yeah, man. It's like, it's beautiful, man. This is what happens when you realize you're your greatest asset. And you tap into you. Nothing wrong with real estate. Nothing wrong with investing, the S&P 500. But at the end of the day, you have to be the first thing that you invest in. And if you invest in you, I just believe there's nothing that can stop. It's more control. Opportunities. More opportunities. They limit it, but the limitless when you take the keys. And so I took the keys of my life and said, "Mom, thanks. Dad, thanks for not being there for me. You gave me a dog. You gave me a passion. You gave me a resilience. You taught me how to make it when the very thing that's supposed to be there for you isn't there for you." And I tell people what I want. Some kid asked me the other day, he's like, "And then am I willing to do what it takes to get it?" That's it. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. But here's the thing. I believe if you think about it, It is only because somewhere inside of you, you have what it takes. Now, capacity is there. Willingness is something totally different.
Yes.
That's different. But I want every human to know, you wouldn't be watching you wouldn't be watching or listening to the School of Greatness if you didn't believe you were great. I'm for real. You wouldn't be spending time with this man, but you recognize I overcame it. And that's why you like, I want to rock with this dude. Because this one some kind of way, Eric ain't the one that's making us feel like, oh, it's okay that you went through this, and it's okay that this, and it's okay if you don't want to grow, and it's okay if you don't want. No, what you're hearing from me is a coach that's saying, Jordan, you got 6 rings in you, but you got to stop playing this way, and you got to start playing this way. Kobe, you got great, but you gotta do it this way. Serena, you got Venus, you got that. Richard Williams is saying, he's not out there just, y'all on TikTok, y'all blew TikTok up. Mm-hmm. And I know it because adults are on LinkedIn and LinkedIn
Instagram.
LinkedIn made no money. TikTok, billionaire. Instagram, why? Because these young people are there. I said, when you show up to anything, it blows up. Here's my problem. You're in the school and you're failing. Why? Because you're waiting for the teacher to teach you. The teacher didn't teach you TikTok. The teacher didn't teach you how to play
YouTube Call of Duty.
They didn't teach you how to do that. You did it on your own. Why? Because you wanted to do it. And anything you activate, anything you do for you, it's going to blow out. But you're waiting for some teacher to teach you when you can pick up a book.
My parents really didn't show up for me, or I was abandoned, or I got cheated on and abused, and sexual abuse and physical abuse. And I know what you went through was pretty hard and it was tough in inner city, but what I'm going through is even harder. Yeah. And it's too much of a weight. It's too hard. It's too much friction to eat healthier, to get up earlier, to be consistent. It's just too hard. Yeah. You've got an amazing challenge coming up. Yeah. It's u2025.com, where you're going to put people through a lot of what we've been talking about and more. 21 days,
Straight.
every day, coaching, teaching, mentoring, giving them
schedule, what I actually do, not just the passion and stuff you hear it online, but the actual, and for free. But I'm gonna walk you through how many steps I take a day, what I'm drinking, why did I decide to wake up at this time?
Beautiful.
Why am I doing this? So that you can start the year off. And I used to do it in like January-ish, and I'm like, you from Detroit. The 2025 come out in September, October.
Yeah.
of 2024.
Yeah.
Like they don't wait to bring.
Sure.
They don't bring 2025 out in January. They bring it out, and so I was like, don't do that. Let's start in November. Let's take it into December, and let's give them the energy and the strategy to go into the new year.
That's right.
Knowing that they are their greatest asset, and they need to tap into their greatest. There should be like in class, especially if you go to college, it should be like UOU 101, UOU 215, like UOU 312. Where like literally you get to sit down and go, who am I? What are my skills? What are the things that I'm challenged with? Like what industries would I be best in? We spend so much time trying to get that I don't think we spend a significant enough time who we are. Like who should we become?
Yeah. That's beautiful, man. So they can go to u2025.com to register for that.
On a regular basis. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be going to Columbus. Bruh, I drove to Columbus. Bruh, it's not a, trust me when I tell you, it's not you don't get off the freeway. Like, it's not 65 you get up. Why did I go? Because this man is great, and greats want to hang with greats. I need y'all to understand. Look, y'all may not know. Listen to me. I've got nomad suitcases that I still carry this day because he gave them to me. Like I didn't buy a new one. I've carried the exact same ones that he gave me. And my son bought a set because I had a set. Because, or not to be disrespectful, there's some kids that can come and graduate for 4 years because they're going to get a job. You can't come and graduate in 4 years, one, because you didn't take K through 12 series, and you're about to be one of the greatest speakers ever. It's going to take a little longer.
Right.
It's going to take a little bit longer to develop you. So my man on a 4-year plan, but he might, no disrespect, but he may settle into a traditional life. And so for the 4 years, that's all it takes. But if you are about to be Eric Thomas, that I didn't even know I had the capacity. You're talking about the school of greatness. God was like, you have to be in the school of greatness a little bit longer. You have to be in the school of greatness a little longer. Why? I always say, and everybody knows it, but when you're doing a slingshot, the further you pull it back, When you let it go, boom. So for me, it was like, I was like, it's gonna take 12, not because you're behind, it's gonna take 12. Because that's how much time it's gonna take to develop you.
Wow.
So once I release you into the world, now you're gonna be able to do phenomenal stuff.
Let's go.
So I can't compare myself to the dude that's just gonna get a job somewhere, who's just gonna settle, and all he's caring about is his life. You know, but he's not necessarily creating content or writing books that are gonna change the world. He's just trying to take care of his family. So 40 years works for him. Yeah. So now I'm comparing my life to a person who is not even trying to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish. That's dangerous.
Wow.
Dangerous.
Wow.
Man, when you say your son is lucky because you're in his life and his mom is in his life, I said yes and no. I said yes, he's blessed to have his mom and dad, but he ain't got that dude.
He doesn't have the hunger?
He ain't got that.
Oh, man.
My son is a great kid.
But he doesn't
He's
have
got
the
great
drive.
things. He ain't got the same drive I got. And that drive came without some stuff that I lack. That stuff came from lack. And so I say to anybody, you gotta understand it could go either way. But when you take the it's like I walk into a school and I ask, how many of y'all, 50 kids, how many of your kids in here? 1,000 kids. How many of your dads, one in your life, was not living in a house? 90% raised their hand.
Wow.
And guess what? I automatically can relate to them. The birth certificate, right? We found the birth certificate. We found the birth certificate in the emotional state.
Oh, yeah.
We found it in an emotional state.
Yeah.
Listen to me. I'm not the first kid who has ever gone through this experience. And you know what I had to ask myself in that mirror at 16, 17, 18? I had to keep asking myself, when you saw it, why did you see it that way? Why did you not call your mom and say, Mom, you would talk about this? Why didn't you go, hey, Mom, the counselor, can we go sit down and talk to the counselor? Hey, Mom, call Dad. Can we just sit down? And listen to me. I went from, I can't believe that you would do me like this. I went from a ball of emotions to living in abandoned buildings.
Yeah.
It was the stupidest decision I have probably ever made. I put myself in so much danger. It's not safe in Detroit to be in abandoned buildings walking. It's not safe. And I had put myself in so many situations where guns were pulled out on me. You know, people would break into the abandoned building and take my belongings from me. It's like, what are you doing? Like, come on, bro. This version of me had gone all the way and was like, if you don't stop.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I'm glad you did, because like I said, I don't talk about that anymore.
So it's interesting you just said that, because the future you had to have wisdom and kind of speak to the younger you. This version of you at this age, you know, 10, 20, 30, 40 years later or whatever, is speaking to the younger you and saying, wake up.
Wake up. Wake up. Greatness is in you.
Dang, man. This is fascinating, man. What